Putting food on the table back then was a whole lot different than putting food on the table today. Today you go to the store and buy what you need. And back then, you could still go to the store, but at most times you had to go out to go hunt your food down. My name is Norman Guimond. I'm from Sagkeeng First Nation. I was born at the Pine Falls Hospital, April 28, 1944. I grew up in Sagkeeng. I entered the residential school in 1951 when I was 7. I left the residential school in 1958 when I was 14. I'm the third oldest child, second oldest boy. There was 7 brothers, 8 with me, and 6 sisters that grew up together in Sagkeeng. And when I left residential school, I grew up in McCarter Falls mostly, and in Lac Tabani. And we moved back to Sagkeeng in 1964, I believe. And I've been living there ever since. My parents are both passed. My dad, Alfred Guimond, he passed in 1976, and my mom passed in 2009, April 28, that she passed. And I still miss her. My spiritual name is Kapitedang Makwa, sounding bear from a distance. And my clan, I come from the Thunderbird clan. I always knew that the Thunderbird would be my clan because I seen him before I got that, find out what my clan was. So, and I feel good about that. Because the reason I feel good about it, I spent a lot of time in the forest. And the Thunderbird, I know he watches me, he keeps me safe whenever I'm out there. Like I said, I left the residential school. I was 14. But anyway, I didn't want to go back to school. It was hard being in residential school. But the thing that really affected me was when you hear day after day that you're nothing but a no good Indian, a savage, you'll never amount to anything. I heard that every day. I was there 7, 8 years. So, and when I left, I walked out the road with a shame. I was no good, but nothing but a savage, no good Indian. Everywhere I went, I had my head hung down. I had a choice of going back to school or not. And I told him, I don't want to go back to school. Well, yeah. And then my dad said, well, you're going to have to go to work, son. You don't want to go back to school, you're going to work. So that's what I did. And I didn't know trapping was part of the work that I'm going to be doing, but that's what I did. My dad taught me, and my older brother, Raymond. He's the one I learned mostly off of, because he learned off our dad, so he passed it on to me. To put food on the table year-round. Our dad would go hunting in the wintertime. He went by snowshoes. He made snowshoes for us, me and my brother, to join him on the hunts. But the only time we joined him is after he made the kill in the wintertime. He knew where the moose are, so he didn't actually take a gun with him. He had the right wind. The wind was just the right type of wind for him. Then he'd take his gun and he'd shoot the moose. And then he'd come and get us with our toboggans and snowshoes. So we trekked out there, maybe a few miles out of our little log shack. And that's how we put moose on the table. But we also ate rabbit, so I learned off my brother how to make snares for rabbit. I loved doing that when I was a kid, because I loved trapping. But I learned how to trap the smaller animals first, like the weasels, The weasels would bring in about maybe $3 to $6 per pelt, and you could buy groceries for even $6 at the time. Yeah. The bigger animals, like the beavers, came later, and muskrats. It was my duty to trap muskrats in March, in the marshes, because that's where the muskrats, their little houses on the ice, you know, they call them wishes. What I do is I used to chop off a piece of that wish and then set my trap inside. So maybe I did about 18 to 20 sometimes, 20 traps, using the number 2 leg hole trap, I think, the smaller trap for the smaller animals. I used to get maybe sometimes 4, 6, and they were going for $6 a pelt, so my dad appreciated my help for putting food on the table. They're an amazing animal, beaver. When I left residential school, I was 14 at the time, and my brother and I went on a trapping excursion. We got dropped off in Bird River, which is about 25 miles. We got dropped off there, so that was my first experience after leaving school, watching my brother, how he trapped, and I learned off him. But we also took our 22s where we got dropped off. We walked in maybe 2 miles into the bush, high on a ridge. We were looking for a big tree, a big white spruce. So that's where we made our camp, a lean-to, using dry logs and dead birch bark. So we made our lean-to there, and there was a creek down below. So that's where we got our water. And all we took with us was some bannock and dry goods. We fed ourselves through the stream there, catching whatever, rabbits, a little bit of fish. So that's what we survived on. And it was cold in March sometimes, even a little bit of snow. We were there for about 3 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. And it was cold nights, and we used to go look for beavers in other areas. And we came upon a place there where there was maybe 5 families of beavers are building a new area. They already had a dam and a big beaver lodge, and they had about maybe 18 inches of water. We could see them swimming around all over. And I used to watch them every day. They're amazing to watch, building the dam. And when it was time to go, my brother took me over there. I thought I was going to go watch those beavers one more time. And he says, "You better take your gun." Why? Because when I said in his language, our siblings have to eat. I felt bad. We had to shoot all them beavers. Yeah, I got emotional about it. My brother, you know, I guess he was the elder at the time. Family have to eat. So that was my first experience. We walked home with a bunch of beaver, 25 miles. And that was my first experience too, when checking my snares. That first time I ever seen a wolf. I thought it was a dog. I just finished checking all my snares, I thought, and I ran back home. And I got across the road and I stopped and I forgot to have a few more snares over there on that side. So I ran back and went down the trail. And I seen one rabbit there, all frozen, so I took him out, and then I heard something. I looked up, and there's a wolf there, not too far from me. He's watching me. And I told him, "Itinishan, go that way. I won't harm you, because Because I didn't have my 22, I just took my 22, but I didn't take. It's a good thing I didn't take it. Maybe I might have shot him. I never seen my dad skinning wolves, because that was, they brought good money, I heard, and foxes. My dad was picky on what he trapped or what he killed. We never trapped martens or fishers. We didn't trap mink in the winter. We used to chase them. My dad would do the chasing. He'd look for tracks, be along a shore or something. Yeah, he gets a fresh track, and then he'd come and get us. Then we start trailing the mink. Well, a mink was $20, so it's a lot of money. And sometimes the mink would go into a beaver house or something, or in a hole. He'd plug all the holes, leave one open, and build a fire where there's smoke, and so that chased the mink out of the beaver house. Or remember one time, it was so funny, he told us to watch where the mink coming out. They had a hole. We each had a stick, me and my brother, and my dad's over here. That thing shot out. He gave a command, hit him. Man, my brother missed the mink, but he hit my dad on the head. We had to chase the mink again to another hole before we got him. I gave up my guns about 8 years ago. Yeah. So I haven't been on a hunt for a while. I don't need to hunt. I just go to the grocery store. Too many hunters, I think. Maybe I felt sorry for the big game. Their numbers going down on moose is the most I'm concerned about. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I quit hunting. Of course, I'm getting old, and nobody to speak the language with. It's different. When you're out with someone that speaks a language, yeah. But that language, well, your identity, you don't know what to call yourself. Yeah, hunting was a good way to put food on the table, for us anyway. I know that because we lived, in the bush.